Their victory in the Manchester derby, brought about by the return of Michael Carragher to the dugout. What, Jamie, was most striking about the victory for you?
It felt like a back-to-basics sort of approach, and I mean that in a complimentary way, because they only had a few days on the training pitch with the players. 3 days, the news, a new coaching setup as well. Let's not overcomplicate this. And the best way to describe it, it felt like a throwback to the days when I played, how they went about it. We've just looked at Chelsea, man-to-man press, and man-to-man mark, and that is a big part of football now, certainly in the Premier League. But this felt like a throwback with Manchester United. It was almost a bit zonal, send the ball to one side, and then we go there. But when you talk about back to basics, what no one can stop you doing is running out of possession. And that was absolutely out of this world from Manchester United. And, as I said, distance out of possession by Manchester United players this season. 4 of the top 5 were in the game against Manchester City. So that tells you exactly what this game is about. They were going to need energy against the biggest rivals. But the standout for me was Mainoo, who I thought was fantastic in the game, alongside Casemiro, who was excellent as well, that real partnership together. But it wasn't just about running. What was the idea? So the idea for me, and I said when I say it was a throwback, but we've got the 4-4-2 zonal press. We've just seen Chelsea do man-to-man press. What's interesting, and we're going to get to this with Thierry later on, is Manchester City definitely made this easy for them because they never had any players between the lines, Thierry, and that's something we're going to get to later on with Bruno Fernandes.
Between the lines, yes.
But this is what we would have done. This is what Arsenal would have done in the past, right? So the idea is, OK, we're all in a zone. We start now, and what do we do? We're going to let the ball go to the youngest centre-back, or maybe the weakest centre-back, if you like, on his weak foot. So he's a right-footed player. He's on that left foot. Max Lane, young player, still learning his trade. So the ball's going to come here, and then we're going to press, OK? As the ball comes across, the thing to really look at is Mainoo. And he had a role all day to look after Rodri in that midfield. So he was jumping out of central midfield. So what did that mean? A big problem for Manchester United over the last couple of years has been this man, Casemiro, left alone in the central midfield. So your midfield partners jumped to stop one of the best players in the world dictating the game. So this means Ahmad and Dorgu have got to get inside and get narrow. So we see it now as the ball comes in. It comes into the striker. He loses it, Haaland. He makes a tackle, Martinez. Look at the distance between the 2 midfield wide players, Dorgu and Ahmad. That could be Giggs and Beckham. When you think of the wide working players they've had in the past, and that's what you need as a Manchester United. You need pace going that way, but you need to get back and tuck in. And look how narrow. There's Mainoo and there's Casemiro. That could easily land at the feet of Bruno Fernandes and make a counter-attacking opportunity. Another clip is exactly the same. We'll press this side. We've got absolutely no problem with the ball coming to Max Lane here. On his weak foot, stepping in, and again, the same idea. Mainoo in with Rodri. Dorgu comes across, and you've almost, we talk about the diamond formation. We think of that with the ball. This is almost like a diamond press. You've got one of your central midfielders jumping out, but the big thing is your wide players. Look at Dorgu tucking inside and making it really difficult for Manchester City to play through their number 10s. And then they go along again on the weak foot, let him have the ball, play on his weak foot. But Thierry, Manchester United wasn't just about what they did off the ball, it was what they also did in possession.
Yes, indeed. And when you want to play against Manchester City, you also need to be able to hurt them when you're on the ball. And the space that we were talking about, Bruno Fernandes will operate in between the 2 lines of 4, and Man City didn't do it so often. Look at the awareness of Fernandes. You can see that Mainoo dropped. Lisandro Martinez has a possibility of pass, so you have to help in the space, higher. So you can attract Rodri. Now the ball goes to Mainoo, that came to play underneath him. We go on the other side. And if he wasn't, unfortunately for Dalot on that one, a bad pass, they would have had an opportunity to score.
Mentioned this role of Mainoo and Rodri. Now, we spoke about it being higher up the pitch. It was exactly the same plan when they were deeper. Manchester City will push you back because they have great possession, but the plan was always the same. So you see, he steps out with him here. Now he drops in alongside Casemiro. As soon as he sees the ball coming into Rodri, he presses again. As the pass is made, again, look at that midfield. Look at Dorgu's position there. Tight to Casemiro, Ahmad tight. No chance that these 3 players, either in front of the midfield or behind the midfield, could get on the ball because of the compactness of the team, but also the midfield. So Mainoo, It was fantastic. Casemiro the same. And before you know it, wide players picking the ball up in counter-attacking positions again. Bruno, who was absolutely outstanding in the game. And who does he find? Dorgu. We've just mentioned the position of Dorgu, almost on the same level as Casemiro, protecting that midfield space. Brilliant from the midfield players all around.
And again, I love what Carragher offered on a goal kick. He knew, obviously, that Man City was going to press. But what I like, if you compare it to what Man City did, you are going to explain it. But first, I need to explain what's going to happen to be able to explain what happened at the top, because they happened at the same time. When you see this type of situation, obviously, you're inviting Man City to press, as you can say here. It's almost a man-to-man. Lewis is there, wingers inside. So it's a back three with your holding midfielder shielding, right? We all know that's what you do. If he jumps to the goalkeeper, because your goalkeeper is the extra man, we pop to go to where the striker came. So you know your centre-back is going to be free. So I explained that first part. Let me go to the next part. Okay? Now you can roll it, which is very important. Now you can see the difference with Man City that left 3 up front. They left 4 up front. And look at already Rodri, like not being comfortable with that situation. He's pointing ahead. Then you're going to see him shortly. He's going to point to Bruno Fernandes, how we're going to see here. But suddenly you can see that Carragher, how you're going to see here, is pointing. Who is going on Bruno Fernandes? Who is going on Bruno Fernandes? Now, if you don't have a 9 that can hold the ball well, he's going to have support. If they don't press well, here you can play short. If they do press well, you have an idea of how you're going to come out. 4 against 4, but Rodri is not comfortable. Play it. Look, you're going to stay now on Ahmad. That's going to take away Aki. The ball's going to go, obviously we already know where it's going to go. Now, he's not comfortable. He's asking Alain to come back, but Alain went on Fernandes. Now, he's going to cover. Obviously, Mbeumo can drop because you have a run maybe from Dorgu, so Kusanov has to stay. Ball is coming on the ground. They worked on it. Why? Because he's coming to play under straight away. Now we can play football. And we are out. You attract short to go long. And again, unfortunately for Dalot, it was offside. But the idea was there. And I want to go back to what Man City didn't do too well. If you want to dislodge a 4-4-2 flat defending, that's what Man City do more often than not. You need to be in between the lines, just like Bruno Fernandes was found. So, have a look. Rodri is asking who wants that ball. At that particular moment, you have your 2, your 8, your holding midfielder, facing the line of 4. Your 10 has to go and play here and ask for that ball here. Do not come to the ball. You make it too easy. That's what too easy in bracket for Mainoo to go and put pressure. Obviously, Cherki is to the ball. You see him, he goes to the ball. Look at the difference between Cherki and Bernardo Silva. Cherki stays low. Look at where Bernardo Silva is going to go, to the pocket. Cherki, you should have been here. And I explain why. If you go here, he has to cut now the pass inside. That's free a pass now for Semenyo. And if Semenyo receives the ball, he has a problem now. Because what I call the domino effect now, you have 5 guys in line. On the contrary to you, it's a 3-2-5. But then you can operate and you can hurt now that team in a 4-4-2 flat. But Cherki kept on coming to the ball and going low. It's too easy to defend for me now. You had an opportunity to have a 3v2 on the side. He goes to get the ball off the centre-back. Now you're bringing it. Look at what you have now. You have an underload. Yes, Semenyo could have dribbled past everybody, but you're not dislodging a 4-4-2 like that.
OK, and we're going to go to the goal. And you've got to remember, the guy who scores is in the wall, and so is Bruno Fernandes. And the goals, the counter-attacking goals in the Premier League in the last 18 months have sort of gone off the scale. I think we're almost double, as I said, in the last 18 months than what we've been in the 10 years before. So it's a huge part of the game. So when this ball comes in and Harry Maguire heads it away, that space there, you might think it's not a problem. It is. It is a problem, as we go on to see. Maybe the guy who's taking the free kick is not the right guy to take it because he can't deal with this situation. Now, what he needs to do as he's taking that is to jump and make sure when this ball drops here, he either wins the tackle, not his forte, or give a foul away. He has to stop the counter-attack. So thinking you're okay in this situation in the Premier League right now is not. You're not. Now, he has to make a foul, and then Manchester United away, and it's a fantastic goal from them. The first goal in a big game like this is also hugely important. Bruno Fernandes, fantastic, and then Bueno. But Thierry, you need to take over this.
Yes, there's something that I want to talk about. I grew up watching Michael Laudrup, the best passer of the ball that I've ever seen. That's my opinion. As you're going to roll it here, I always saw him, when he wants to pass the ball that way, moving it right to pass it left, move it left to pass it right. Because what it does, it will create a little confusion to the defender and will make them move and give time and space to his striker. This guy is not playing football, he's thinking about it. That's a different ball game for me. So now, he didn't touch it yet, okay? He's running with the ball, that's the distance, 4 yards. You're running the right way to be able to cut across the striker. If that ball is played, he's in his momentum, he can run with it. Look at how he has to move away now. Just that, by moving the ball, when Bruno Fernandes moved the ball, just that, the only time he's back on his leg to be able to have the force to go back that way, 2 yards happen in between the first time we stopped it to now. And those 2 yards are going to be vital. He thought about it. He didn't just pass the ball for the sake of passing it. This guy thinks. Now, have a look. When he's about to unleash it, it's 3 yards. Add 2 yards to that. Maybe Mbeumo would have chopped him, if he was too close to him. But maybe he would have blocked it also if he was there. It would have been a different scene. He made that happen. Yes, I know people will say it's easy. It's not easy. It is not easy. He thought about it. He moved him, unleashed it for Mbeumo.
And the second goal, Thierry?
It's just, that was will. I love what Cunha does, because whenever he plays or he comes on, he always brings something extra. Here, that's the sheer desire of wanting to go. Both him wanting to pass his guy and Dorgu to want to attack the ball. That was, for me, that goal summarized exactly what was in the team and what wasn't in the team. Because when Cunha now takes the ball, you're not in real danger. There's a sheer wanting to do something. And then look at that moment. Who is in the box? Nobody's in the box yet, really. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Man City players, only Dorgu really attacking that ball and having that will and that desire to score. And as you said, nobody stops you from running, so you can do that, and they did it so well.
What a return for Michael Carragher. He got one over Pep Guardiola. He's getting a nice collection of scalps, has he, there, above those of the 3 games he took charge of previously when to the fort, beating Unai Emery, drawing with Thomas Tuchel, and beating Mikel Arteta as well. And Manchester United fans have been getting involved on Finalysis. We posed the question to them. If United qualify for the Champions League, should Michael Carragher be given the job full-time? 70% say yes. He could be building an interesting case based on the analysis I've just been watching from Jamie and Thierry. And later on, we will be having that conversation ourselves. There could be an amazing list of managers and head coaches available for not just Manchester United, but Real Madrid, another club on the lookout this.
From the very start of the analysis, Carragher and Henry absolutely nailed the biggest truth about this Manchester United performance. This wasn't about tactics first, it was about identity. Carragher called it back to basics, and he meant that in the most brutal, old-school way possible. No over-engineering, no fancy positional experiments, just structure, discipline, and relentless running. And Henry backed that up perfectly by breaking down the 4-4-2 zonal press, not man-to-man chaos, but controlled aggression. United weren't chasing shadows. They were inviting City into traps. The key point both of them kept coming back to was energy without stupidity. United didn't press everywhere. They pressed together. Carragher highlighted how they deliberately funneled City toward the weaker side onto players on their weaker foot, then collapsed as a unit. That's not luck. That's coaching clarity. Henry's breakdown of Mainoo was huge. This wasn't just a kid having a good game. He was given a job, shadow Rodri, jump when needed, drop when needed, and most importantly, protect Casemiro. For the first time in ages, Casemiro wasn't isolated. That alone changed the entire midfield dynamic. Then there's Bruno Fernandes. Carragher made it crystal clear. This is where Bruno belongs, between the lines, facing goal, dictating chaos. City made it easy by leaving that pocket open, and United punished them over and over again. That first goal? Henry explained it perfectly. Bruno doesn't just pass. He moves defenders before passing. That's elite thinking. And the counter-attack point was devastating. Henry was ruthless. In modern football, if you don't stop the counter at source, you die. City didn't foul, they didn't delay, they switched off, and United killed them. The big takeaway from both of them was simple but damning. City helped United, yes, but United were finally ready to take advantage. This wasn't a fluke. This was a team that knew who they were for the first time in a long time.